Do you ever get a little bit anxious when you're creating live videos, or maybe you haven't even started creating live videos because you're afraid of making mistakes? Well, my friend, I've got you covered because today we're going to talk about 5 very common live streaming mistakes that I see beginners and advanced streamers make all the time. Hey streamers, it's Mel here. Before we get started, I just want to say, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on that notification bell so that you get notified when we go live or when we create new content just like this. All right, let's talk about 5 live streaming mistakes that you need to avoid. Okay, mistake number 1 is not promoting your live video in advance. So first of all, even though people might be liking your page or subscribe to your channel, they may not have the live notifications turned on, so they're not gonna get notified. The other thing is that sometimes people need to know what you're gonna be going live about. It's gonna pique their interest. They may even put it on their calendar so that they don't miss your live video. And then of course, if they know that you are gonna go live and then they do get that notification, they're more likely to tune in because they already knew you were going live. They kind of know what to expect. They're going to say, oh yeah, Mel said she was going to go live today to teach me how to do a countdown timer in Canva. I'm tuning into this one. The news feeds are busy, so sometimes we need to know a few times in advance about what you're going to be talking about. Okay, so here are a few ways that you can promote your live video in advance. First, I recommend that you actually schedule your live video in the applications. Now, Streamyard makes this extremely easy with the click of a few buttons where you will actually create your live video, say the day and time that you're gonna go, and then people will see that preview post in their newsfeed where they can select get notified or set reminder. Now, before we move on to mistake number 2, let me show you really quickly how easy it is to schedule a broadcast in Streamyard. So we're gonna create a broadcast, select our destination, give it a title, give it a description, and then right here, you're gonna select schedule for later. And then you're gonna upload a thumbnail image for your broadcast. This is what's gonna show up in the newsfeed. And then you're just gonna select your day and your time. It's very, very easy. As you can see, with a few clicks of a button, you're ready to go. Now, another way that you can promote your live video in advance is to create a post saying that you're going to be going live on the day and the time. You can also create an Instagram story or a Facebook story the day of or 24 hours in advance to give people that final reminder that they should be tuning into your live show. Now, another way, of course, is if you have an email list, be sure that you're sending an email to your list and letting them know when you will be live and what your live video is going to be about. Okay, mistake number 2 is not engaging enough with your audience. So here's what I will say. Engagement comes in the form of comments on your live video while you're live. Now, your audience may need to be coached, or you may need to prompt them to actually do some of this engagement. So I always recommend have a few questions throughout your live video that you actually give to the audience and tell them to respond in the comments. Now, make sure that you are addressing your audience as well. You want to acknowledge that they're there. You don't want to ask them to comment and then ignore their comments. So one of the great features of Streamyard that I absolutely love is you can also display these comments on screen, which is actually going to foster even more engagement. So when you're in Streamyard in the studio, you will see the comments out to the right. Simply select the comment you want to display on screen and then click it again to remove it from the stream. I absolutely love pulling up comments because, like I said, it actually, when you display comments, more people will actually start commenting as well. So definitely give some shout outs throughout your live video to your viewers and acknowledge the engagement that they're giving you. Okay, not so fast, because mistake number 3 is over engaging with the audience. So what do I mean by over engaging? Over engaging is when you actually let your acknowledgments of your audience and the comments distract you from the content you are actually delivering or interrupt the flow of your content. So an example would be you're in the middle of a really important point and literally mid-sentence you interrupt yourself by reading a comment like, hey, okay, the next really important thing I'm going to share with you is about, oh yeah, David, you're right, I totally agree, Taco Tuesday is the best day of the week. I mean, Taco Tuesday is the best day of the week, in my opinion, but we can't let that get in the way of the flow of our content. So you really want to be careful not to overengage. Now, you can also just completely overdo it where you're not really sharing any value or any content and all you're doing is chatting it up with your audience. Now, there are, of course, some live videos that could be party-esque, and that's exactly what your goal is. That's fine. But be sure that when you are actually delivering value and delivering content, that you don't let that engagement take over the stream. So the best practice would be to welcome your audience towards the beginning, have a little fun, go back and forth with them, and then you have, let's say, 3 to 5 key points. In between each point, take a break and engage the audience, look at the comments, address them, display some on screen, answer some questions. This will really help you stay focused on the content and your audience, and so that engagement isn't going to take away from the value that you're bringing in your stream. Now, this can be a really hard habit to break, so I definitely suggest you avoid looking at the comments when you are delivering those key points. Which brings us to mistake number 4. Now, this mistake is not looking directly into the camera lens. One of the best ways to avoid looking at the comments, as I mentioned before, is to be looking into the camera lens instead of the comments on screen. You should be always looking into the camera lens when you are talking to your audience. It's the equivalent of looking into the eyes of your viewers. So let me show you the difference. Right now, I'm looking into the camera lens. Right now, I'm looking at myself on screen. And as you can see, I'm not looking into your eyes. Now, this can be a really hard habit to break, so it may take some practice, but I will tell you that this exact concept applies to not only your live videos, but also any virtual meetings you're having, as well as when you're FaceTiming family and friends on your phone. Here we are at mistake number 5. All right, now this one is not reading the comments or questions out loud before responding. So it's really important to recognize that a lot of your viewers might be multitasking, which means they might be listening to you, but they aren't watching your stream. So when you address a comment and you didn't read it out loud, they have no idea what you're talking about or who you're talking to. It also helps bring points home when you repeat it out loud before you respond. So I highly recommend that before you answer a question, read that question, or before you address a comment, read it out loud. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is if you're multi-streaming, your audience viewers over on YouTube cannot see the comments that are being displayed or commented on over on Facebook. So this is another great reason why it's really important to read those comments out loud before you respond. And of course, a pro tip would be to display that comment as well. Well, there you have it, 5 live streaming mistakes that you're now going to be able to avoid. Now, we've actually got a blog article where we have even more live streaming mistakes that you can avoid, so be sure to check that blog article out. You can see a link down in the description of this video. So I would love to know if this was helpful, or if you've maybe made these mistakes in the past and now you're actually going to be like, oh, I'm not going to make those mistakes anymore. Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, as always, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and click on that little notification bell so that you get notified when we create new content. All right, my friends, I'll see you next time.